Welcome to week 21 of my self-important Magic the Gathering show. This week is Abzan. It's actually been quite a while since I've last actually recorded one of these. I did a big batch recording several weeks ago and just pre-uploaded them. So now I'm kind of out of the habit, so maybe that was a bad idea. The Final Fantasy set came out on Arena a few days ago, but I won't be talking about any of that because none of them are Abzan or in the theme of any of the decks that I'm building. Oh wait, no, they might be in. There might be a card in there that goes into one of these decks. We will see. But let's get started with the first one. So this first one is the partner commanders of Frodo, Adventurous, Hobbit. He is a white and a black for a 1/3, partner with Sam. He's down there, loyal attendant. He has Vigilance, and whenever Frodo, Adventurer, Hobbit attacks, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, the ring tempts you. Then, if Frodo is your ring bearer and the ring has tempted you 2 or more times this game, you get to draw a card. Neato funno. Then we have Sam, loyal attendant. 1 a green and a white for a 2/4. Partners with Frodo, the Adventurous Hobbit. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a food token. And then activated abilities of foods you control cost 1 less to activate. So the trick here is that at the beginning of combat, you make the food. Then you pay 1 to eat the food. And then Frodo will have the ring tempt you. And if you do that 4 times, you start to draw cards, and you also have had the ring tempt you 4 times. Let's see, I think I should have the ring down here to remind anyone who don't remember what it do. Extras, yep, the ring. Anyway, the first ring tempting gives them Skulk, can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. The second ring tempting is whenever your ring bearer attacks, you draw a card, then discard a card. The third ring tempting is when your ring bearer becomes blocked by a creature that creature's controller sacrifices at the end of combat. And the fourth is whenever your ring bearer deals combat damage to a player, each opponent loses 3 life. Okay. Back up to the deck. We also have alternative commanders because they kind of do. They kind of work off similar things. So for a black and a green, we have Pippin, Warden of Isengard, a 2/2 halfling advisor. I didn't say what these other guys were, but they're all halflings. Frodo is a scout. Sam's a peasant. Merry and Pippin are both advisors. Pippin partners with Merry, both are Warden of Isengard. You can pay 1, tap this guy, create a food token. And then you can tap him and sacrifice 4 foods. Other creatures you can control get +3/+3 and haste until end of turn. So that's neat. So that's like more food shenanigans, as fitting for the hobbits. Merry is 1 a green and a white. For a 1/4, whenever 1 or more artifacts enter the battlefield under your control, you get a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink. Only once a turn, though. Which is good because Pippin's ability is a tap ability, so you can always tap Pippin, make the food, get the soldier. And then we have our Abzan lands, as you can see. Since we're in green, we do have a non-zero number of snow-covered lands. Where are they? There we are. Since we do put into the north, not that we have, I think we have 5 hits for it. We have Arctic Treeline, Snowfield Sinkhole, Oh, we have more because we have Woodland Chasm because this is a three color deck. And then we have the 3 snow covered basic lands. There should be another one, but I guess I didn't put it in this deck. And then we have our ramp package. I did all of this ahead of time because this is stuff that you would have seen me put into the deck anyway. Sol Ring, Arc Sig, Farseek, the 3 Guild Signets into the north, Nature's Lore, the 3 Talismans, and since this is universes beyond Lord of the Rings, we have the universes beyond Monty Python and the Holy Grail version of 3 visits. You know, ooh, and then we also, you know, ooh, sorry, saliva decided it wanted to kill me. We have the set appropriate versions where appropriate. Is there, did they ever make another Into the North? No, they did not. Cold Snap, the list, and whatever Ha5 is, which I guess might be, I don't know what it is, but you can't buy it. We got Path to Exile, Pest Infestation, Swordless Plowshares, Assassin's Trophy, D-Spark, Parting Gust, that's new from Bloomborough that I like putting in stuff. Terra Sunder, because I like things that do non-land permanents. Non-land permanent, Endings for Making, Beast Within, Generous Gift. Mythos of Nethroi, I guess this is a new one because this is the first time we've done Abzan. It's destroy target non-land permanent if it's a creature, or if you've paid full Abzan, that's black up here because it's normally 2 black. You can't really see that over the symbols. But if you pay black, green, white, you can destroy any non-land permanent. Good old Stroke of Midnight. Battle of Bywater, because a lot of our creatures, just warning, in this deck are going to have power 2 or less. Like, look at this. 2, 1, 2, 2. Then good old Baleful Mastery. Settle the Wreckage. Fell the Mighty, destroy all creatures with power greater than target creature's power. Dusk, destroy all creatures with power 3 or greater. Dawn, return all creatures with power 2 or less from your graveyard to your hand. That reminds me of another card I want to put in here. I forget what it's called. Raise the... Let's spell words correctly. R-A-I's. Raise the Past. We should put that in the deck. And let's see. O. Creature type. We're just looking through this for specific stuff. Cover of Darkness. You will fear our hobbits. Letting you know that this is a Hobbit tribal deck. Crippling Fear. Oh yeah, that is actually a good piece of removal for this. Or decent, because it's -3/-3. It's a sorcery though, so like you can't mess with combat with it, but I still like it. Let's see. Load more. We could do Folk Hero to draw extra cards. Haunting Voyage? Like, I want to put in Herald's Horn and Urza's Incubator, but I guess we don't really need that much ramp, because I think I did a good job on ramp. I think Haunting Voyage. We can always take it out if I feel it's... Then there's Kindred Dominance, but I think we have better stuff that's cheaper. Metallic Mimic kind of goes against the theme of the deck. Mirror Entity, though, is good as a finisher. Because that way we don't have to worry about our stuff getting nuked to our own sweepers. But maybe we'll put that in. Oh no. We can always take stuff out. There's nothing stopping us from doing that. We probably, like, we could Path of Ancestry, but I'm not worried about it. Okay, I'm going to look at my commanders, because that's the most important thing for Roaming Throne. Okay, Roaming Throne doesn't affect that. It doesn't affect that, because I think only once a turn turns off additional triggers. We could get 2 Ring Temptings with Frodo. And I don't know if it allows us to draw 2 cards. I would need a judge to tell me what the heck's going on there. But I think for Frodo it's worth it. I like Skimfar's Shadow Sage, but I don't think we're actually going to have that many. 3 Tree City is another thing we could have put in, but I don't think we're going to. Is that the end? Okay, so that is the end. Now we go up here. How many cards do we have in the deck? We're at 78, so I do want to put in the rest of my creatures. Though, we're going to want more ways to draw cards. So that's going to be... We're just going to put in our usual weak card draw and hope for the best. Although I think we're going to have card draw in let's put in our creatures. Halfling. Search their library. You're gonna do it. Banquet guests. It enters with X+1. Affinity for food. It gets X+1/+1 counters, and you can sacrifice a food, and it gains indestructible until end of turn. Okay, that's good because we can use that. It technically makes our sweepers a little bit more expensive, the power-based ones. But if he's out and we're doing it, then we can have Bilbo in here. We're not getting to the 111 life, but I feel like he goes in here. More for flavor than anything else. The Delighted Halfling. I don't think this does enough. The enters or leaves get a food token. Feasting Hobbit has Devour Food 3. As this creature enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice any number of food. and he gets 3+1/+1 counters per food, and then it can't be blocked by creatures with less power, so that's pretty good. And then we have Farmer Cotton. When he enters, you get X white halfling creatures and X food, so that's the X white green. That is pretty sweet. Land cards. You create a food. You get basic lands if you sacrifice a food, but he or she costs 4, so that's kind of late in the day. When East Farthing Farmer enters the battlefield, create a food. When you do, target creature gets until end of turn for each food you control. That's kind of interesting. I don't know. I'll have to come back to that one. Let's put in the other versions of Frodo. Oh, that reminds me. Hold on. Close. Swiftfoot boots. Press the correct buttons. There we go. Huh. I'm going to move Mirror Entity down to Finisher now that it's its own thing. There we go. Okay. So now I have my usual 3 protective pieces of equipment. Let's go back in here. I don't think we want or need any of the golems. Lobella, Defender of Bag End. When she enters the battlefield, look at the top card of each opponent's library and exile those cards. We're not stealing stuff, so we're not doing that one. But she will protect them potatoes. Then we have the other Lobella. Lobella enters, exile target creature card from an opponent's graveyard that was put there from the battlefield this turn. She has Flash and Menace. And then you get X treasure tokens where it was the exiled card's power. Okay. I think that's fine. Peregrine Took, we get extra food token when we make tokens. When the Nibble Hobbit attacks, you can sacrifice a food or pay 2 and a white. To tap a creature an opponent controls. We'll come back for that. Meriadoc Brandybuck. Whenever one or more halflings you control attack a player, create a food token. Well, that's a thing our deck is probably going to do since we're halflings. Lotho Corrupt Sheriff. Whenever a player casts their second spell, you lose life and create a treasure. Okay, sweet. Prosperous Innkeeper. Rapacious Guest. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, you get a food token. Whenever you sacrifice a food, she gets a +1/+1 counter. When she leaves the battlefield, that's not dies. Target opponent loses life equal to its power. That's sweet. Rosie Cotton of South Lane. When she enters, you get a food. Whenever you create a token, you put a target a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control other than her. I don't want to mess with too many +1/+1 counters. Whenever another non-home creature enters the battlefield under your control, you get a food, and then you can sacrifice 3 foods to return a historic card from your graveyard to your hand. Boom. When Samwise the Stouthearted enters the battlefield, choose up to 1 target permanent card in your graveyard that was put there from the battlefield this turn. You get it to your hand, and the ring tempts you. And this has Flash, so that's sweet. It only costs 2. Sauerwald, Master of Buckland. Whenever this guy or another non-token creature with power 2 or less enters the battlefield, you get a halfling. And then you can tap 2 other untapped halflings you control to give this guy +2/+0 and lifelink. I like that. That's fine. Shire Sheriff. When they enter the battlefield, you can sacrifice a token. When you do, exile target creature control until this guy leaves the battlefield. I don't like that temporary effect on a creature. That steal stuff, and again, we're not doing Smeagol. Oh wow, we're already at the end. The Gaffer. You draw a card if at the end of any turn of each end step that you gain 3 or more life. That's sweet. This thing has the ring tempt you. You may pay 1 life if you do. Create a treasure token. Scroll to the top. Now there are only let's see, what are we at? We're at 98. Let's go here. Let's go here. We're at 21 creatures. I'd like a few more. I want the last 2 things to be creatures. Ooh, we have 4 pieces of draw. That's not the worst we've ever done, I don't think. So let's go to card search. T creature. O food. O draw. Pay 1 life, draw a card, activate only if 3 more cards left to your graveyard this turn, or if you sacrifice the food. That's sweet for this deck. Sacrifice a creature, draw a card, and then create a food. No. I think between what's left, I want the Savvy Hunter over Greta. When Savvy Hunter attacks or blocks, you get a food, and then you can sacrifice 2 foods to draw a card, which I think, yeah, is cheaper than Peregrine because you have to sacrifice 3 foods. And then this creates food, so that's good. And then that gets us to 100. 22 minutes in. That's just how things work, I guess. Bosque. I'm just kind of looking over to see what I have in there. I like the way this deck turned out. It's, you know, not great or strong. Using the new bracket system, I'd call it a 1, 2 at best. Well, I guess it's a 2. Like, from what I can tell is bracket 1 is near unplayable nonsense, but that's fun, or at least amuses you in some way. But I like what I put together. So let's rename this deck. It's already unlisted. We're just going to call this one the Shire. I pressed enter even though that's not how that works. Let's close this and go to our next deck. We are probably going to make... yeah, let's do this one second. So, Abzan's going to sit on you. I think you can... well, we're already at 71 cards. This one's not going to take long, is it? So we got Betor Kin to All from the second most recent set of Tarkir Dragonstorm. We got 2, a black and a green for a 5/7 Spirit Dragon with flying. At the beginning of your end step, if my voice modulates because I'm getting closer or further away from my mic, depending on how small the text on a card I want to read is. At the beginning of your end step, if creatures you control have total toughness 10 or greater, draw a card. Then if creatures you control have total toughness 20 or greater, untap the creature you control. Then if creatures you control have a total toughness of 40 or greater, each opponent loses half their life rounded up. Then we have alt commanders of Sidar Kondo of Jamura, who is 2, a green and a white for a 2/5 human knight with flanking. Whenever a creature without flanking blocks this creature, the blocking creature gets -1/-1 till end of turn, which I find more interesting than the other version of this, where this creature would get +1/+1. Because the -1/-1 can like be on the way to indestructible. Like if we had Massacre Girl, Known Killer in this deck, and giving stuff Wither, that would also give us card draw. Creatures your opponents control without flying or reach cannot block creatures with power 2 or less. Not creatures you control, creatures period. And then it has partner, and the partner is Ikra Shadiki the Observer. 3 green black. I said those in the wrong order. For a 3/7, who's meaning they can be blocked by our opponents. But that is neither here nor there. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you gain life equal to that creature's toughness. So like the alt commanders are like the Smurf account. You're hiding Betor kin to all in the deck. And then we have Fellothar the Steadfast, 1 full Abzan for a 0/5. Each creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. Creatures you control can attack though they didn't have a defender. And then you can pay 3 and tap, sacrifice another creature, draw cards equal to the sacrificed creature's toughness, then discard cards equal to its power. And then we have our lands, our ramp, which I think is the exact same ramp as the other deck. And then we have the removal, which I think is we don't, because our commander has such high power, we don't have Dust to Dawn and Battle of Bywater. We just have Fell the Mighty from that set, but we also have Wave of Reckoning. Each creature deals damage to itself equal to its power. That's funny. And then Toxic Deluge, one that I normally don't use because I hate losing life, but it felt good in this deck because we have the high toughness creatures. And I guess a Final Fantasy card is going to go into this deck, I realized, even though it's expensive and has a deep monocolor investment. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 creatures. Let's grab 20 more creatures, which would give us 9 other cards. But actually, I'm gonna go over to EDH Rec really quick because as I said, let's go into artifacts, Crystal Barricade. Oh yeah. Wiffle Boots, Lightning Greaves. Ramnos Ekor, Ancient Shield from... Oh, that's Lord of the Rings Commander. I've never seen this before. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, draw a card, then create an 0/3 wall. Oh, I guess that's kind of cool. That's just $25 card to draw 1 card a turn. But it gets us an 0/3 wall. I like that. Let's go here really quick. MITHR. I do like my mithril coat. Let's go back in here. Let's go to enchantments. Assault formation. Guardian stone skin. We're not doing that. Wound. Okay, I get it. I get the wound reflection. We're not doing that though. Okay, Smile at Death is hilarious. At the beginning of your upkeep, return up to 2 target creatures with power 2 or less from the graveyard your graveyard to the battlefield, and then get +1/+1 counters. Oh, and then Phyrexian Arena. We're not smothering tithing. So 77. Oh, 3 more. Duh. Boy, I couldn't math there for a second. I don't think we're going to assault formation. Oh, whenever a creature you control enters, target opponent loses life equal to the difference between that creature's power and its toughness. That's kind of cool. It's probably not the strongest card I could play, but it's cool. So 2 more cards. Creatures you control have Skulk. That's kind of funny. I'm more curious than anything. Oh. Yeah. Gain life equal to the greatest toughness. Nah, we're not doing that, but that was interesting to look at it. So 2 more. Oh, there's the land version of this that I like putting in, but I don't remember what it's called. Pretty sure it's actually at the bottom. I was wrong, but at least since I know it's a monocolored card, maybe I'm dumb. There it is. I was right about where it was in the thing. I was just... Okay, so 1 more. Underworld Connections. Wrong thing. Black Market. There we go. Black Market Connections. 2 life to draw a card once a turn. But you also get treasure tokens. And garbage mercenaries we're probably never going to use. There we go. So, T creature POW greater than toughness. I did that wrong. Toughness greater than power. Order toughness. Touchness. what I'm going to do... Probably should have given myself a... Okay, so... Toughness... greater than or equal to... I don't know, at least 5. Jeez. We're still not starting at 5. We're still going all the way down to the bottom. And I saw something that would be funny to put in the deck. Oh, that's interesting too. I saw several Final Fantasy cards that I would be tempted to put into this deck. I probably should have ordered them by CMC. What's nice about this is that I won't see too many Eldrazi. So, this is the first thing I thought of. Ancient Adamantoise. It's 5 green, green, green for an 8/20. Vigilance, Ward 3, may as well be hexproof. Damage isn't removed from this creature during cleanup steps, so it'll eventually go away. But that doesn't change its toughness; it just marks damage. All damage that we've done to you and other permanents you control are dealt to this creature instead. Hold on, just cleaning off my glasses really quick. So basically this is just like another 20 life points. And when this creature dies, exile it and create 10 tap treasure tokens. That is a pile of neat. Then we'll have the autochthon worm. I assume that's how that's pronounced. It has convoke, otherwise it's 10 generic, 3 green and 2 white for a 9/14, and it has trample. Don't care. Going in the deck. That's fun. And maybe we'll get to cast it. Who knows? Who cares? Unhallowed Phalanx. It's a 1/13 for 5, but it enters tap. That's fine. It doesn't matter. Then we have the these two silly trees. Exchange target life opponent's target life total with this creature's toughness. That's hilarious. Exchange your life total with this creature's toughness. Both of these are hilarious. We're skipping the Eldrazi. Indomitable Ancients. It's a 2/20 or 2/10. Fangorn, Tree Shepherd, Tree Folk you control have Vigilance. I don't know how many Tree Folk we're going to have. We have 1. Took me way too long to find it. Whenever you one or more Tree Folk you control attack, you add twice that many green. And you don't lose unspent green mana. I think that's mostly worth it, even if we only have this one other Tree Folk in the entire deck. And we're probably going to have another one once we go up further. Then we have this 1/10 for 5. It has Disguise, and then when it turns face up, you get creature control gain hexproof until end of turn. I think we might skip that one. We're not bothering with Sella. I like the Ancient Gold Dragon because it makes us a bunch of dumb creatures. We have this 5/9 turtle with Island Walk, and oh, this is the thing that if it attacks, it gets exiled and comes back attacking the next turn. We're probably skipping that, but that thing's funny. I don't hate it. It's dumb and bad, but I love it. That's an Eldrazi. This is a 4/9 for 8. That's a 4/9 for 2 if you have 3 or less life. And it can block any number of creatures. That's neat. Oh, Zatalpa, our good double strike friend. Eldrazi again. Defender flying with a... Yeah, we're not doing Wall of Shards. Another Eldrazi. Zombie Elephant for 5. The Rotting Mastodon. Another Eldrazi. Jotty Lifestrider enters the battlefield. Tap any number of untapped creatures you control to gain 2 life for each of those creatures. No, we're not doing that. A 6/8 for 5. Huh. Okay, this is an interesting card. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice Gurzagast, that's no. Unless you put 2 cards from your graveyard on the bottom of your library, and then you can pay 2 green to discard a card from your hand to have it deal combat damage as though it weren't blocked. That's mildly interesting. We might skip that, but I like it. I don't hate it. Flying Lifelink, play lands. Has to deal with surveilling. Doomweaver. As long as Doomweaver is paired with another creature, each of those creatures has, when this creature dies, draw cards equal to its power. That's fine. I mean, this isn't a high power deck, but that's drawing more than 0 cards. As long as they die and are not exiled. As an additional cost to cast creature spells, you may pay any amount of mana. If you do, they get +1/+1 counters. We'll skip that. Yavimaya Ancient. It's not interested. Not interested. Not interested. Attacking creatures have lifelink. Not for 7. Oh, I like the idea if they want to target this thing. We draw 2 cards. Whenever Warden of the Woods becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, you may draw 2 cards. Yeah, we're fine with that. An 07 for 3, Wall of Nets. At the end of combat, remove from the game all creatures blocked by Wall of Nets. If Wall of Nets leaves play, return all those to the play. I already said I don't like that effect on a creature. If it blocks, return it to your hand. It's an 07 for 2 though, so we're not worried about that. Wall of Ice, 07 for 3. Veridoth the Ancient. No, we're not going to worry about this kicker nonsense. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, you manifest... nope, that's stealing stuff. Necrobloom. We're not worrying about that. We're not worrying about that. We're not worrying about that. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you get to do stuff. Yep, that's fine because it has some destruction on it. Damage to each creature with flying, we like that. No. 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 This doesn't do it to the players, that's important. Not for 6. No. Lands from our graveyard, we're not doing anything with that. No. 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 When Luminite Primordial enters the battlefield, for each opponent, exile up to 1 target creature that player controls. Oh wow, so for 7 mana you get a 4/7 and 3 Swords to Plowshares. That's interesting, but not for 7. Karametra God of Harvest. As long as your devotion, blah blah blah. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you may search your library for a Force of Plains. Oh, not non-basic. We like Karametra. Jumbo Cactar because he's the most hilarious thing on the face of the earth. I'm thinking about these two, but we'll see where we are after we're done. Ivory Tusk Fortress. Okay, we're not doing +1/+1 counters. We're probably going to do this by mana value after this, just to see if we missed some good low mana value ones. Undergrowth, Convoke, Grave Shifter, Grasping Giant, Grom the Great. I don't know if we're gonna bother with Grom and Virtus because they're both in the correct colors for this deck, but I don't think we're gonna bother. Generous Ent, you get a food token, Forest Cycling, Devotion to Black. Oh, he's another card draw thing. We can put him in the deck. Amara Tandris. All damage will be dealt to creature tokens. Oh, the Grand Cenobite. We gotta put her in with this nonsense. We're not doing that one though. Opponents can't cast spells during your turn. We'll come back for that because it costs 6. Whenever Kolfinor, the last you or another creature you control dies, return up to one target creature with lesser toughness from graveyard to your hand. Sure. Dragons. Huh. That's interesting. And our commander is a dragon, but this costs 7. Baladin. Oh, this is the... Yeah, this is E Honda. Ancient Green Warden, Accomplished Automation, Hunger Dominus, at the beginning of each combat, double the power and toughness of each creature you control until end of turn. Yes, we like that. Wandering Tomb Shell, it's a 1/6 for 4. Slightly worse than those other two. An 0/6 for 2. They can give reach. I think I'm fine with that. Gains life from power. Other forests and tree folk are indestructible. That's not right there. A Huntmaster. Oh. Okay, that's funny because it says 6 power on the front, but 7 toughness at the back, so it gets put here. A different city. Shield Sphere, not there to block. It's just there to have 6 toughness for 0 mana. Protection from snow. Quick Beam, the Upstart Ent. She makes creature spells cheaper. I don't think I care. Mir Superion. Sometimes I just say names I like, whether or not I care about putting them in this deck. I really do hope we get more Legends Retold, or whatever the heck they called that. Giving all of our creatures vigilance doesn't seem bad. Oh, excuse me. 06 for 1, that's just slightly worse than some other stuff we put in. Or 06 for 2. What in this other 06 for 2? Well, I think we might be getting lost in the sauce with that. There is a card that I thought we would have run into by now, but we haven't. When we eventually see it, I'll point it out. Should start putting music in these. Wall of Roots. Nope. Spawn of Turg. Gain life equal to a creature's toughness when they enter. That's interesting for 4. Let's have some life gain. Sure, why not? Yeah. Let's just have some life gain. Treebeard. It'd be funny if people saw like stuff that they think were great for this deck, but I kind of just skimmed over them. Huh, Siege Rhino. Fleece Ram. I saw that in the ADH rec thing. I was like, we can do better. Oh, Liesa, Forgotten Archangel. I like having that in the deck. Puts our creatures back into our hand and exiles our opponent's creatures. I'm fine with that. I saw the Keeper of Fables. I like Jehovah. Like, draw cards equal to power is not as good as draw cards equal to toughness, but draw cards equal to toughness would deck us. But, yeah. Launch the Bestower. No, that does not help this deck at all. Ah, Doran the Siege Tower. Each creature assigns combat equal to its toughness rather than its power. That's what I was looking for. I thought it had more toughness than that, to be honest. I thought it was like a 6 or a 7. Okay, now that we're down at 5, I'm not... Sorry, I was just looking at another... Oh, that's just a good card because it makes creatures when our opponents cast instants and sorceries. So first, I check to see where we are. Oh, we are well over. Okay, so we have some garbage creatures to get rid of. So let's view as a grid. So we got our commander, we got our alt commanders, we got Elvish Norn right there. I think we can dump some of these cheap garbage creatures. The lands. We'll get rid of this life gain creature. Rid of the ramparts. And this. They put the shield sphere in ramp because it costs 0. We don't have that many creature spells as much as I like her. I do like that, but ding. See if any creatures made it into removal. Yes, the Silverback Elder did, and that did. I like both of those things. There isn't a quick to the top button. Okay, oh, we're only 3 over now. Ah. This thing's going to get put in ramp, even though it really should just go in protection. Actually, yeah, that's where I'm gonna move it down to protection. I'm keeping both of the trees because they're funny. I don't think I have enough creatures for this, even though I like it. We don't have Trampler Enablers in here, so that makes me sad. Still like Zatalpa because he has all of these keywords. Not removing any of my draw. I think we're going to get rid of Jaws of Defeat since it's target opponent. And then we're going to pretend that's a card draw spell. Just to give it somewhere to be. There we go. Back to stacks. Could this deck be better? Of course. But also, someone else could have made it and not me. This is put in protection. Okay, whatever. Whoops, you got moved to land instead of protection. There we go. Okay, yep, no, I like how this deck turned out. It could be better, but that's just how it goes. Abzan's going to sit on you. I believe I already set it to unlisted. Yep, and so save. Whatever. So I'm going to do this to make sure it is 100 cards. You go away. That one took a little bit longer. Okay, so now we have... Can we get to 111 or more life? The answer to that question is probably no. Also, this deck's not going to have enough creatures for that to be worth it. Oh no, we only have 65 cards in this deck. Oh, that's because we don't have all of those mass removal spells because we have no idea where we're going with that. But we have all of the same ramp and most of the same removal. I think Heliod's Intervention is new for this one because then we can gain life hilariously. So let's go O, gain life, T, creature. I'm gonna drink some water. I like water when it has a little bit of acai berry Mio in it, I guess. Whenever you gain life, she gets +1/+1 counter. And then she spreads out it +1/+1 counters on to your legendary creatures. I don't think we'll put her in here, but that's all I was thinking about. But then I forgot. I thought she'd augmented life gain. Agent of Masks is neat but weak. Johnny's Pride Mate. I guess Aerith is a super friend of a Johnny. If this is what a Johnny's pride mate does, and that's what she does. Opponents can't gain life. Whenever you gain life... Oh, on each creature you control. I like that. Gain life +1 instead. Whenever you gain life, she explores. And then destroys all other creatures if her power ever gets to 20. That's not the goal, but it's hilarious. Astarion. Gain life equal to the amount of life you gained this turn. We're fine with that. Sure, why not? Control Nebraska for the first time each turn. Sacrifice creature's toughness. Greatest power. Bottle gnomes. Gain life. Gain life. Gain life. Yeah, I'm ignoring the +1/+1 counter stuff. Gain life equals power. Sacrifice another creature. Gain life equal to that creature's toughness, and but also draw a card. That is interesting. We do need to stuff that actually gains us life. That's clerics. Whenever you gain... we're not doing that, I think. I don't think we're going... we're going to do the other half, but we're not going to do both half of the combo. We're going to do... When opponents lose life, we gain life, but not when we gain life, they lose life. Creeping Bloodsucker. At the beginning of your upkeep, Creeping Bloodsucker deals 1 damage to each opponent, and you gain life equal to the damage dealt this way. That was... Yeah, that's a cheaper version of this. Because it's only 2. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on her. We ignore that. We don't care about that by itself. But we can create additional... We can create some vampires with lifelink. I like that. This at least draws a card with that. Opponents can't gain life. Pay 2 life to draw a card. We like that. We're not gray merchanting because this is a 3-color deck. That much life +1 instead. That costs 4. We're going to put all of those there and see what the mana spread is on it. That might not be much, but that is still a greater than... There's some new stuff for cleric decks I'm seeing. so weird. Whenever Kala, Johnny's Pride Mate, attacks, other attacking creatures you control get plus X plus O until end of turn, where X is the number of counters on Kala. And then Kala has the Pride Mate ability. Okay, I'm down with that. We still need a way to gain life. That's Clerics. Gain twice that much instead. That's better than all the other ones. Sapline of Kolfanor is such a weird card. Okay, this time Frustani goes in here. She scries one at least, and is, well, I guess that's the same as other ones, but the scry one I think I'm gonna go with. Okay, go to the top. That puts us at 79. We're doing this because I want to do this. We're going. Okay, we have 14 creatures. So going back into here. I'm going to put in that much. Oh, whenever a creature controls deals combat damage to a player, you and that player each gain that much life. Let's put in that one, Con. There we go. Whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. There's the enchantment version of that, which we'll put in a second. Oh, there's another one of them plus ones. Okay, so we don't have a whole, so we're going to remove creature from this. Oh. Minus T creature. What's funny about this is that this isn't lifelink. This is very specifically not lifelink. We'll have Cleric class. Sanguine Bond is the one that we want. Let's ley Line of Hope. Emirates Archive. Not that we're drawing a whole lot of cards. Bond of Discipline's a fun card that I should probably put in more decks. How many people's? All creatures, all opponents in control. We could exsanguinate, but we don't have that. We're not making that much mana, and I do want more creatures in this deck. Oh, I was wrong. Exquisite Blood was the one I wanted. That's what I get for not reading. Thanks to anyone who told me I was wrong in the comments before just now. We need more way type. 17 creatures. Okay. And we can have 14 more cards in the deck. We're probably not going to have 14 more creatures. Let's see what's over here. In creature. Oh, I can see the gaffer, yeah. These three, yeah. They are simple. Authority of the Consuls. Oh, Boon Reflection to opposite Wound Reflection. Sure. Oh, and then Phyrexian Arena for drawing cards. Do we want a Johnny's Welcome? That's the question. I like Sutra Priest. I like this. We'll do Daxos. Oh, we can gain life from this. We'll do that. Just have another artificial win con. You know what? This has the remove 6 to exile creatures. We're good with that. Oh, Bellados Witherbloom I feel is good. Guide of Souls can get out of hand. Oh, we're at 102. Okay, I think we'll take out 2 creatures, maybe? Actually, I think we're going to take out Cleric class. I'm going to leave 30 creatures and take out Cleric class and... Okay, this makes my creature stronger, and I think Authority of the Consuls. There we go. So, yeah. Could this deck be better? Sure. But as usual, that means someone else built it who wasn't me. Categories. 7 draw. Theoretically. That's not a draw spell. That's only a draw spell if it's a land, so it's like half of a draw spell, or 37% of a draw spell. Okay, and now we're going to do something I should not be afraid to do in these videos, and that's not build a deck. Because we got some time, so we're going to do a new deck. We're just going to call it Abzan for now. Leave it private for now. I don't have an ad blocker on Microsoft Edge anymore, I guess. I think I turned it off for some reason and I haven't turned it on. Doesn't matter. I only use Microsoft Edge for this specific purpose, so it doesn't bother me. So T legend, T creature, order, CMC, color equals white, green, black. Okay. So we're going to see if we want to build another deck, and then we will build the deck. We might not build a deck, and this might just be looking at all of the Abzan commanders. We're not going to be looking at any of the partners with, because I already looked at them, and they're all the good ones already are in 2 of the decks I built today. Excuse me. So we have Anafenza the Foremost, funny name for a goat. Thank you to everyone who knew that joke before me and gave it to me. When they attack, you get a +1/+1 counter on another target tap creature you control. If a creature card would be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, it exiled instead. It's a 4/4 for 3 that when it attacks, you put +1/+1 counters on other stuff. That is neat. Not really much to build the deck around. Then we got Bilbo, already made his deck. Doran got put into another deck because Doran got replaced as the commander of the Butts deck. We got Felithar. Whenever it attacks, you may sacrifice an all-land permanent, put +1/+1 counter on each of your control. Then Kethis, that's Abzan legendary creatures. Thalion the Gitrog monster. Teum, Luminous Enigma. Your other creatures are vigilant. Get vigilant counters, and then you can self-mill. We know I'm not a fan of that. Sacrifice an enchantment, draw a card. Oh, that's... Oh, actually, like... Okay, Narci just became very interesting for Abzan Sagas. Because that's both of the Enchantress colors plus black. And some interesting sagas therein. And then again, Final Fantasy just got completely spoiled recently. And there are some great fun creature sagas in there. So I actually think that's mildly interesting. Okay, I actually think I didn't think I would do this, but I am doing this. Set this as commander. We're adding her to the deck because Narci Fable Singer, our commander, is one full Abzan for a 3/3 human bard with lifelink. Whenever you sacrifice an enchantment, draw a card. Whenever the final chapter ability of a saga you control resolves, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is that saga's mana value. That's sweet. And then we have Anikhthia, Hand of Erebos, 2 full Abzan for a 4/4 demigod with menace. Other enchantment creatures you control also have menace. Whenever Anikhthia enters the battlefield or attacks, exile up to 1 target non-aura enchantment card from your graveyard. Create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's a 3/3 black zombie creature token, or creature in addition to its other types. We're going to see if anything else in here cares about enchantments really quick. No, nothing else did, but I'm actually mildly excited for this now. Close this. Do I open this? Yes. Okay, so open that in a new tab. Make this ad go away. So now we copy card names because I don't think I need quantities. Oh, I needed quantities. I need quantities for these. Copy card names with quantities. We'll go over here. We're importing cards really quick. We're copying over the lands. Then we are copying the ramp. And then we will copy the removal. Oh, and then we will remove Karlov. Here we go. Control V. Save changes. Close. And that leaves us with 66 spots left. So now we go T Saga. And then we'll also go like O Saga to see if we have anything else. Actually, no, let's O Saga first. O. Oh, sagas we control have read ahead. There was a bug on me. And the kind of bug that I wouldn't try to take outside. Elish Norn turns into a saga. Ian Chesterton. Oh, sagas have replicate. When you cast a saga, copy it for each time you pay this replicate cost. Yeah. We're in a we're in a deck that has green, so that's possible. Garnet, she She can keep our sagas around if we want to go in that direction. And this one can also make things go faster because we can go in either direction. So we're going to change this to cares about sagas. There. There. And Ichthia doesn't specifically care about sagas, so... How much space do we have left? 27? That's a lot of sagas, so we're probably not going to do 27. Depends on how many good ones we get. So now we go. T Saga. I don't know, we're going to order them by CMC, even though that's probably unnecessary. So we're not doing Urz Saga. Oh, Crystal Fragment starts as this, and then you can... Is the other side worth having? Prevent all damage that will be dealt to creatures you control this turn. Okay, you can only do that as a sorcery. And tap all creatures your opponent control. Not a fan. Long Lens to the Ents. Not for this deck. Oh, how many creatures do we have? We have 5. We're going to have more because we're going to have Saga creatures. But that's something we're going to have to look out for. You're still you're an artifact. You're an enchantment creature on that side. A nice little one just to get out, and then, like, even though we're not, we're not going to have vehicles. Additional lands. Additional land, 3 life. I don't know about that one. Michiko, though, I like that one because we get a creature in Beginner. Life of Toshiro, we get that, and then not very helpful, but I do like these 3. Fall of Gil-galad, Scry, +1/+1 counters. Target creature kills when this creature dies. Draw 2 cards, then that creature. Oh. It fights a creature, and then if it dies, you draw 2 cards. Okay. Esper Origins. Oh, and if you flash it back, we get this. I like that one enough. Scry, 2 life, and then we get a first strike 2/2. I'm gonna try to be like really picky on this first pass. Mana value 2 or less, with basic planes, for wall. Each player mills, not a fan. Mill, not a fan. No. I like it at all, but no. Each opponent gets a rat, and then you can gain control of all rats. control to get his power. No. White human. Food. Food. Battle for Predagard. Fall of the Imposter. Fall of the First Civilization. Elspeth's Nightmare. Treasure token. And create copies of non-saga tokens. Create some knights, make your knights bigger. Create a monk. Create a monk that adds green. That ain't nothing. Oh, and then modify. I like that. Night Song of Herbs and Stewed Rabbits. Chocomog, we like that. 2 life. Top 3 cards. Exile 1 face down with a hatching counter on it. Yeah, we're not doing that. Creation of Avacyn. Search your library for a card. I don't like that because if this goes away, you don't get that card. Life equal to its mana value. Some +1 counter equal to those mana value. Return this and the exile card to their owner's hand. And it was already in our graveyard, so I like that. Summon Ixion. Exile something until this leaves the battlefield. No. Search your library for a basic land. Nah. Fall of Lord Conda. First their own games. The Girl in the Fireplace. Huh. Well, don't have any doctors, so some of that doesn't do anything. Insects. Sacrifice any number of creatures. Search your library and/or graveyard for a creature card with mana value less than or equal to the number of creatures sacrificed this way and put onto the battlefield if you use your library shuffle. Huh. I actually do like that because as long as your insects survive, you'll at least get a 3/3 or a 3 mana value thing. Get a beast, sacrifice a creature, and you can put something in your hand. Okay, we like the Huntsman Redemption. Basic land, Alien Salamander. Revelation of Ezio. Restoration of Ganjo. Princess Takes Flight. 3 Blind Mice. Trial of a Time Lord. Welcome to Jurassic Park. Yeah, that's dinosaurs. We ain't doing anything with that. Oh, Dion Bahamut's Dominant. Yes, we want that. Oh, Binding the Old Gods is a nice sorcery speed piece of removal. That's another reason why we ain't messing with her, because she destroys all of our other stuff because they ain't Phyrexian. That's Angels. That Mills cards, and I ain't doing that. Eject. Deals combat damage to a player, you can flip it over. Normally, I don't like making my opponents discard, but I'm going to make an exception for this one. This tap thing, tell you what, there's another one that wasn't a creature that had that like as its first thing. You'd be surprised at how much that just isn't there. Create some clerics, and then you can make a demon that deals damage to you if you don't sacrifice stuff. 3 spirits, 3 1/1 counters, and trample and lifelink. Okay, that's worth it for the third shot. Artifact, non-artifact, nope. Ring tempts you, no, because of the milling. Summon you, Jimbo. Exile target artifact, enchantment, or tap creature an opponent controls. Until your next turn, creatures can't attack you unless the controller plays 2. And then we create, yeah, that's fine. Cave of Endrozani. 2 stunners on any 2 target tap creatures. Curse of Fennec, or Fenric. Long Reach of the Knife. Sacrifice or discard. Huh. Exile all warriors, that's funny. The birthday. Vault 11 is funny. Vault 13, Vault 75. War of the Last Alliance. Get a legendary creature in your hand twice, and then double strike. Sure. Summon the Fat Chocobo. We like the Fat Chocobo. That searches for doctors. We'll go with Elspeth Conquers Death because it's a converted mana cost 3 or greater. And then this is the same thing on the first one. Summon Good King Mog the 12th. We get 2 Mughals. A copy of a non-Saga token. Nope. The Mega Sisters do 1 of 3 things at random 3 times. Nope. Summon Titan. No, because we're not milling 5. Nope. We're not milling 10 cards. We don't have any planeswalkers. We're not milling cards. We're not destroying all of the lands. We'll do Genesis of the Daleks, though, because that's fun. Draw a card, lose a life 3 times. We like that one. I mean, it's expensive, but these are neat. Primal Odin might just take someone out. Knights of the Round is just funny good. and then Bahamut. We have 9 creatures. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 creatures. Oh wait, we have more creatures than that because this is... type. We have 14 creatures, so we'll go up to 19 creatures. Though some of these creatures are that's 1, 2, 3. So that'll be 19, 20, 21. We'll have 23 creatures including our commander, because these 3 are creatures on the back. I am... move, counter. I want to see if any of, Ether Snap is kind of interesting, because if we have a lot of, Sagas in play, we can remove all the counters from them. But also exiles all tokens, which we may or may not be making, I can't tell. Oh, I just thought of something. Oh, that's good. Oh, hopefully it's in here, because I don't remember its name. Glissus Unsair is funny. When she deals combat damage to a player, you can remove up to 3 counters from a target permanent. Doesn't say opponent controls. It says up to 3. I just now was smart. Just now. Before now, heckin' dumb. Hopefully you're reading along with me, because my content is so quiet. Or at least my Magic the Gathering content is, jeez. But yeah, no, my brain went, oh, thoughts. Yeah, I'm not seeing spike feeders. Okay, that's story counters. That's bing. There we go. This is what I was looking at. Tam, Luminous Enigma. Remove 3 counters from among... Oh, it's among creatures? Oh, and it's self-mill, so never mind. Let's put RE up here really quick. Let's see if there's any non-blue Tituses. There's one, but it's a sword. Okay, so we got exactly one thing, because I think the other stuff that removes counters are in blue, like what's her name, Goodberry or whatever. Okay, we did everything that did Sagas. How about stuff that cares about enchantment creatures? Oh. Bear of Memory. Whoops. Ding. Oh, Hope of Spira. Yeah. Other enchantment creatures you control get +1. And then activate or triggered abilities from an enchantment source. What's funny is that I did this and I put 0 Enchantress cards in here. Which means that my draw section is absolutely garbage horrible. But I think I'm okay with that. I do want 2 more creatures. Oh, I have 2 tutors. Still in bracket 2. Let's see. For my last 2, let's see what EDH Rec has to say. 4 creatures. Of course. Oh, we get double enchantments once a turn. I like that. And then her to duplicate enchantments. I also like Calyx, so I might take something out for Calyx. Actually, maybe Calyx instead of the Spirit Dancer. There we go, because that's 5, that's 4, that's 3. That's 100. Yeah, we have 12 enchantments over here. And then another some number of enchantments over here in our creature section. Is this deck good? Probably not. Don't care. I just like the summons from the Final Fantasy set, and I'm glad I got to do something with them in an episode. All this Abzan enchantments, leave it unlisted. I'm not gonna put anything in there for now because I can't think of anything. My brain is super drained. That put us at 158, so that's cool. Next week, hold on, we can close this now. We can move these to past episodes. Move that to past episodes. Sort by name. That whole Burbs thing is a... I think we already did Bant Week. Yeah, we did. So this is a future thing. For when I was looking at Final Fantasy stuff. And of course, moving stuff messed up my order for some reason. So next week is Jeskai, which we have another Doctor Who guy. I'm not a big fan of Jeskai, for the record, because Narci's in it and I don't like her. But see you next week when we try to have fun with Jeskai anyway.